Hi, my name is Adam O'Connor. I'm from Michigan Avionics, the exclusive US and Canada sales for MGL Avionics, and today I'm going to talk to you about the MGL iEFIS MX1. The iEFIS MX1 looks and operates much the same as an iEFIS Discovery Lite unit. However, the internals have been changed quite a bit, as well as some of the theories of operation. So the first thing you can see here is the fact that we've got a portrait mode display on this MX1, whereas the Discovery Lite is a landscape mode display. However, the MX1 also does landscape mode for the aircraft that cannot support the vertical profile of a portrait display. The MX1 is special because it's about $1,000 cheaper than the Discovery Lite at the time of this video, and also it actually carries more functionalities in some ways. However, it does have one drawback, so we'll talk about those. The first thing is we're going to look inside the box for this unit and what you get. So in the box you can see here that we've got some pitot-static adapters for the back of the unit. We've got a GPS antenna, an outside air temperature probe, some mounting screws, and a couple other little items like some documentation, getting started guide, all that kind of stuff. The SD card comes preloaded in the screen because when we receive these units at Michigan Avionics, we load the latest firmware and latest database updates onto these devices. So we'll take a brief look at the user interface of the unit. It's much the same as the regular iEFIS system. However, of course, this one is in portrait mode. So you can see here we've got our PFD picture with our horizon, our airspeed, and altimeter. We've got the radio tuning menu at the top with the two comms and the nav, and then also the GPS status. And then we've got the engine monitoring at the bottom, as well as transponder and ADS-B control. We've got our action buttons down here as well, and then our four rotary knobs, just like the Discovery Lite. You can see we've got different pages too. So here's a split screen map engine page. Here's a full map page. Here's a six-pack page. And we come right back to the beginning. On the back of the MX1, we have a low and high speed pitot-static port system, as well as an AOA port. This pitot-static system on this unit has been improved over the iEFIS Lite series and can go from 0 to 40,000 feet on the altitude and can go from 20 miles an hour to Mach 1 on the airspeed. So this covers pretty much every aircraft's flying mission out there. So you'll notice on this screen also we have a larger 25-pin D-sub connector versus some of our other iEFISes having a couple of 9 pins. That's because we've got a lot of stuff jam-packed into this unit, including 4 RS-232 ports, built-in outside air temperature sensing, as well as you can see on there the next to the connector we have the WAAS GPS antenna. So this is just as accurate as any IFR panel mount device. Of course, unfortunately, we can't use it for IFR, but that's the degree of accuracy that we're getting out of this unit. Like our other iEFISes, it also has the audio out port on it so that you can have alarm conditions for your engine, for example, like oil pressure or oil temperature, enunciate into your headset, as well as our co-pilot mode where the airspeed will enunciate into your headset if you're in the proper range for that. One common question we get about this unit is what is it compatible with? So the short answer is any of the products that our current iEFIS lineup is compatible with, this unit is too. So this includes our V6 and V16 VHF comm radios, as well as any Garmin SL40 compatible comm radio. The N16 nav radio, again, Garmin's SL30 format is supported by this as well. Our Trig TT21 and TT22 transponder interfaces, as well as the Sandia transponder interfaces. So this is very much an iEFIS system. We also have our iEFIS Autopilot, the same powerful autopilot that we're used to in our other systems, with altitude pre-select, heading hold, navigation, ILS capabilities, all the same stuff that we're used to in every single one of our iEFIS products up to this point. The iEFIS MX1's architecture is a little bit different than the rest of our iEFIS system, and this is where it really starts to come out into its own little category of our products. We had the regular iEFIS system, which used the iBox and what we called iEFIS LAN to support up to 8 displays. iEFIS LAN was its own communication protocol, and then the iBox took our CAN communication protocol with things like the RDAC and the SP6, as well as RS-232 from our radios or transponders, what have you, into one device, and then the iEFIS screens figured out what to do from there. They had good cross-field capability, so things like GPS flight plans or tuning radios and stuff all happen pretty seamlessly. The iEFIS Lite system did not enjoy quite the same integration because of some limitations in how it was designed. The iEFIS Lite did not have an iBox, it only had CAN bus and also RS-232. And we only were capable of 2 displays in a single system with the CAN bus. But unfortunately, because the CAN bus had too much information going through it at the time, we couldn't really get all of the cross-fill functionality that we wanted. So the iEFIS Lite only was able to do barometric pressure, altitude bug, heading bug, and a couple of other very small things. With the iEFIS MX1, we take the same level of integration that we did with the regular iEFIS system, and we took the CAN bus protocol of the iEFIS Lite system, and we combined both of those. So the MX1 can cross-fill everything between displays, and it's capable of up to 8 displays in a system, but it uses the same CAN bus communication network that everything else already does, so that you don't have to consider this in your system design. Because of this architecture difference, it's important for an installer to consider the following. Each display needs to have a discrete RS-232 connection to a device. So for example, if we have an MGL V16 comm radio, we can actually wire the RS-232 port from that comm radio in parallel to each display. The reason why is because one of your screens in an MX1 system is considered the master screen. Any screen beyond that is considered a slave screen, but they're given a number. What happens is if the master screen fails, the next device in the chain through these numbers that we'd assign them becomes the master screen. So now we can parallel RS-232 ports safely because only the master screen is sending the commands. So if I have a second screen here and I want to tune COM1's frequency, screen 2 tells the master screen what the frequency needs to be, and then the master screen sends the command. So it does make wiring a little bit more involved. However, it allows these displays to exist in a sort of standalone environment to themselves, so that we're not reliant on something like an iBox to handle all of the communications, or even an iEFIS extender, both of which would be considered single points of failure. Not that they would, but however, some people needed to consider this in more complex aircraft where a system failure could be a potential hazardous problem. So at this point, you heard all the great things that the MX1 does and all the great improvements that we've made over the iEFIS Lite series. However, you're probably thinking somewhere now about how this device is $1,000 cheaper, so what does it not have? What it does not have is a full synthetic vision picture. We have a hybrid version where there is airport information that's overlaid on your attitude solution. It also has the same box that has waypoint information, distance to, and bearing. However, the terrain picture is what's missing. Because this device has one chip that controls everything, whereas all of our other devices had several chips, unfortunately we couldn't put quite the same amount of power into this device that we did our others. However, that's not to say that this device is slow. While this device does have less power, we've optimized the coding of it so that every command, instead of being, say, 10 lines, is now 1 line of code. So because of this, it feels and operates probably even faster than a regular iEFIS system. So as a quick recap, this system will work with all of our devices that we currently support, including our SP6 compass and our RDAC engine monitoring systems, as well as our radios and transponder products. The only real difference here is just what happens behind the scenes. If you have any other questions that weren't answered by this video or are not answered on our website at michiganavionics.com, feel free to call us at 810-356-9855, or if you prefer to go by email, you can submit a support ticket at support@michiganavionics.com. If you're not already subscribed to the YouTube channel here, subscribe to us and hit that notification bell. We're going to be doing much more product overview videos coming in the future here for some of our newer products, as well as we're going to be expanding our library of information on some of our current products as well.